I was on mute. Okay. So, once again, a pleasant evening to everyone. Hello to our Facebook and YouTube viewers. Welcome to our career session with Coding Chiefs Roadmap to Senior Programmer. I am Isai and I will be your host for tonight's event. Right. So, are you all ready to gather tips and advices from our partners? All right. So, just to remind everyone, if you have any questions regarding Stack League or anything about the session, make sure to type them in the comment section and we will address all of them later at the Q&A portion. Okay, so we will be having a Q&A portion after the speakers turn to talk. All right, so once again, don't forget to key in your questions in the comment section later in our Q&A section. All right. So, of course, so before we dive into tonight's session, oh, and before I forget, no, as promised by Stack League and Coding Chiefs, of course, we will be giving away swags from our partners. Okay, so for you to be able to win, make sure to follow the mechanics. Okay, so during the session proper, we will be flashing a code. Okay, this is to also check if you are really listening to our speaker. So make sure to submit that code via bit.ly/codingchiefs giveaways. Once again, that's bit.ly coding chiefs giveaway. So you can access the link ahead, and then later during the talk or during the session proper, we will be surprisingly flashing the code. No? So you will be using that code to input in that form that we have provided. And from that, we will be raffling your names for our Coding Chiefs giveaways at the end of the program. So be sure na you are still here with us once we announce the winners. All right. So once again, during the session proper, we will be flashing a code in the screen which we you will be using to for the giveaway. So make sure to submit that code at bit.ly/codingchiefs giveaways. All right. So before we dive into tonight's session, we would like to give you an overview of Stack League. So to know more or to discuss more about Stack League, I'd like to call in Jewel.
Thank you, Isai. Good evening, everyone. Again, I am Jewel and I will be sharing with you a quick overview of StackLeague. StackLeague is the Philippines' largest online programming league. Our mission is to develop programming leaders that inspire the nation into coding. The tournament is powered by StackTrek's fully automated talent analytics and assessment platform. Now, in its second competitive year, StackLeague wouldn't be possible without the support of our partners. We're fortunate to be supported by the top companies in industry. We have the silver sponsor, CodingChiefs, and bronze sponsor, Microsoft, Dell Tech Systems, Upper.ph, Recruit Day, and Gcash. Our media partners, SparkUp, Apps Gadget, WhatsApp Pilipinas, Corner Magazine PH, Androidit, Megabytes, Black End News, Blue Wing, and Manila Republic. The same goes for our community partners who help the league reach as many programmers in the country as possible. Here they are. This pioneering programmer league was launched last year, March 16, 2021, and is now gathering over 10,000 tech talents across the country to test their leadership, perseverance, and coding skills with the promises of nationwide media recognition, lots of prizes, and thousand of tech job opportunities, and access to invitation-only events. The league's year-round cash prize pool is now at 10 million pesos in the duration of the whole competition. One of the highlights in the stock league is weekly stock raise for both individual and team categories. Each week, the top 10 challenger and the top 3 teams are all announced all across StackLeague's social media platform to recognize to, rec- to recognize the challengers who stayed on the top of the rankings. Apart from this, we also have the StackLeague Feature Programmer and Team Campaign. The weekly top 10 challengers and the top 3 teams are going to be featured on the StackLeague's website and our social media channels. StackLeague will also be hosting numerous tech and career sessions all throughout the year. Aside from this, there are also exclusive trainings available for ranking up to the next challenger levels. These events and trainings are all for free. The StackLeague Ambassador program is a year-round initiative to reward StackLeague challengers who go beyond the competition and inspire the nation into coding. To tell you more about the StackLeague Ambassador program, here is a short clip for you. Congratulations to Darwin Pablo for being the StackLeague Ambassador for March, winning the 3,000 pesos cash prize and the StackLeague t-shirt. If you want to be the next StackLeague Ambassador and win the cash prize and the t-shirt, the program is now open for April. You can find the full mechanics at our website, bit.ly/StackLeagueAmbassador2022. There are 5 supported programming languages in the StackLeague: JavaScript, Java, Python, C#, and PHP. This is how the ranking system works. After signing up, you start at the bottom with 0 points. All you need to do is solve as many challenges as you can and earn the corresponding points. So the more points you earn, the higher ranking goes. Once you have accumulated enough points, you can now get to the next level challenges where more opportunities are unlocked for you to access. There are 3 challenger levels: bronze, silver, and gold levels. The new thing for this year's challenger level up is the prizes. Unlock the bronze level, you will receive 100 pesos. Unlock silver level, you will also receive 100 pesos. And unlock the gold level, you will receive 300 pesos, a total of 500 pesos. There is also a StackLeague treasure chest, individual category, wherein the weekly top 10 challengers will receive 500 pesos cash prize. We also have the StackLeague Playoffs. StackLeague Playoffs is a single elimination tournament featuring all the monthly qualifiers where all the weekly top 10 StackLeague challengers will automatically be invited to the monthly qualifier rounds. You can read the mechanics at bit.ly/StackLeaguePlayoffs2022. To know more, here's another clip for you. And that's it for the overview of Stock League. And remember that as a year-round tournament, Stock League is looking for the best challengers that can stay up in the ranks and become programming leaders for the long haul. That's all my end. Back to you, Isai.
Thank you so much, Jewel, for that introduction about Stack League. So, everyone who are here with us tonight, I invite you all to register and create your account at stackleague.com and get to win not only cash prizes but also other prizes from our partners. All right. So, once again, I would like to remind everyone that we will be flashing a code during the session proper. So, make sure to catch the code while listening to our speaker. All right. So, let us not delay any further. I'd like to introduce to you our resource speaker for tonight's career session, the Talent Acquisition Manager at Coding Chiefs, Miss Jessa Dela Peña.
You can see me. Can you see me? Okay, I can see myself. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for having us. I'm really happy to be here tonight. And yeah, so first and foremost, I want to welcome everyone and thank you guys for joining the session. Yeah, I'm really excited. So, in behalf of Coding Chiefs, we would want to thank you for your interest, and of course TAC for giving us this platform to share some of our um, insights on the topic. So there. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, I can start, right? All right. Can you see my screen right now? No, not yet. Mm, okay. Anyway, so let me reshare my screen so that you guys can see it. Okay. Mm, okay, there. There we go. Okay. So for this evening, we will be covering the roadmap to senior programmer. How does one become a senior programmer, or who qualifies or what qualifies somebody to be called a senior programmer? So throughout this session, if you have questions, it would be good if you could, of course, save that for later. But if you're really, really like keen to have your questions answered right away, of course, you could place it on the chat box or in the comment section, like on that side. I'll try as much as I can to answer those. But of course, you can save that for later. Most definitely, I can answer those for you on the later part of our program. Okay. Okay. So, what qualifies me to be, talking to you about this today? Well, first and foremost, what qualifies me is that I am not a developer. I am not a programmer, and I think being a talent acquisition professional, talent is our business, so to say. Yeah, and I've been working with the industry of recruitment for the past 10 or so years. And for the past couple of years, I've been focusing on identifying, recruiting, and hiring um, top technical talents in the Philippines. And I think that pretty much qualifies me, I think, to identify, like what's the difference between a junior one and a senior programmer or mid-level programmers. So, talking to clients, talking to developers here and there, it kind of gave me drew a picture of who uh, a senior programmer is and what compromises, like the anatomy of who a senior programmer is. Yeah. But aside from that, I would like to introduce myself a little bit. So, um, I graduated with a degree in education, so I'm actually like I'm a licensed secondary education teacher. So I see that there are a lot of students here tonight, and this setup kind of reminds me of when I was still teaching. I taught for a couple of years, and yeah, so it feels very familiar but kind of different. And yeah, I don't really look like that anymore. Anyway, so I'm a licensed teacher and I'm also a certified technical recruiter. And I, for the most part, act as a talent advisor. So that goes for the clients and the our candidates. So we advise clients on what, like sometimes it's on what they need more than, like they would give us a list of requirements that they want, or they think they need this kind of uh, developer or something, but we will present them with, what if you hire somebody who's like this, maybe it will work better. So like we act as talent advisors in that way. And for the candidate side, for the developer side, on our case here at Coding Chiefs, we would also advise them on, like, uh, would this be a good step, or like to when we are trying to convince somebody to um, get on board with us, or when we are recruiting them, we are kind of selling this opportunity to step out of where they are currently and move into something different. And of course, we don't want to lead them into something that's not really good. We don't want to scam them. Yeah, so yeah, we try to advise them as much as we could for the better, most definitely. Yeah. So that's basically what our job is here at Coding Chiefs. We match talents to clients and clients to talents. So it's like I always compare it to being the Tinder for developers and clients. It's like a matchmaking thing. You know, it has to go both ways. Anyway, okay, so our coverage for tonight. So we'll discuss who is a senior programmer. Oh, sorry, I repeated the topic. So the second topic will be how to become one, and why bother, and what to do next. Like, yeah, basically three steps. Okay. What I need you to understand from this point is that there is no shortcut to anything in life. There are ways to go around things. There are ways to like speed up some processes, but like you get to shorten some stuff. For example, you thought you got a shortcut, pero eventually you'll have to go through another process that will be longer for other things. So we really have to put in the work, and in some way, somehow, um, parang bumabawi siya. Naka-shortcut ka dito, pero for other processes, you'll have to take the long road pa rin. So it's the same thing. There. And then, yeah. Okay, so now we will talk about who is a senior programmer. So my goal for this afternoon is, so for this evening, is for you to understand um, what differentiates a junior programmer to a senior programmer. Uh, we would also like to break some of the misconceptions about who a senior programmer is, or like what makes up a senior programmer. Also, what's this? Uh, I would also want you to have this, like a reality check that and also like at the end of the session, for the most part, I want you to feel encouraged and challenged. So hopefully, I get to give you that or transfer that feeling. Anyway, so yeah, who is a senior programmer? So for me to be able to draw that picture for you, I would like to start with discussing who a senior programmer is not. So a senior programmer is not just somebody who knows all the programming languages. So I have encountered a lot of profiles in the past, yung mga resume na parang sobrang mahaba, tapos lahat ng programming languages nakalist as skills. So the question will always be, what's the specialty? What are you really, really good at? Sa dami ng mga bagong programming languages, what are you really focused on? So just because somebody says he knows all the programming languages, I'm not even sure if that's possible. But it doesn't mean that that person is a senior programmer. And a senior programmer is also not somebody who is older. You don't become a senior programmer just because you've been with a company the longest. You don't become a senior programmer just because you're older than the rest of the team. I think it's not just in the IT industry, but for other industries as well. Age and tenure doesn't really equate to seniority. Not always. For some industries, yeah, but for most, not anymore. No, no. uh, yeah, a senior programmer is somebody who is adaptable, but is able to be flexible enough to tackle on different roles, different things all at the same time. But that person will still have this focus. A senior programmer, I would say, is somebody who has a deeper understanding of the whole business, not just like the coding part. So that person has an understanding of the whys of things, like why do we need to do this, or why does this person, like why do we have a deadline, or what happens after we do this, what becomes of it, who consumes this product, like the success rate of this product, are we doing a good job, or what's the measure of us of our product being good or being not so good. Those are the things that like a senior programmer would definitely know. Hindi lang siya parang coding lang, not really. And a senior programmer would be somebody who's like able to come up with creative solutions to various problems or challenges encountered during the coding process, or the development process. And that comes from experience, of course, like with a lot of kaya I think this is the reason why we would often think that those who are older, those who are more tenured, would be senior, kasi they would have had encountered a lot of challenges before. And by the time that like they're um, tenured in the company, parang they have all this parang tips and tricks, and like tricks out of the hat to solve some problems. But it's not the same for everyone. No? It's not something that is set on stone, and that has to be very, very important, very, very important for everyone to understand that um, older is not senior. It only applies, as for citizenship, senior citizenship. Yun lang yung sa older part. But experience wise, I think it's debatable, but for me, experience is something that people can have, like for a few years, like 4 or 5 years, not necessarily like 12 years. I've seen a lot of younger people be promoted into a senior level role, and they would be um, on a higher position or higher ranking than those who would be older than them, because it's like they're measured on their performance, on their skills. So yeah, not it varies from company to company, for most. Okay, so the way to get somewhere is for you to actually, like like we always say that a journey of 1,000, um yeah, it begins with a simple single step, basically. So you have to, like, to predict, to create a future that you want. You have to be the one, like, you have to put in the work, same as the one that I told you earlier. Yeah, we have to make sure that we put our efforts into something that we're doing. You create your future, basically. So what you make of yourself, like however far you want to go in life, it depends really on what you make of yourself. Yeah, I believe that. Anyway, so yeah, you create your future, you determine where you want to go, and yeah, let's see. Anyway, so being a senior level in any company, not just in the IT industry, it's not easy. So I know, like, you as students, most of your students, of course, like in the long run, once you're out there in the real world, parang sino ba naman yung ayaw na maging senior, 'di ba? So because it's like it's something else to be promoted. It feels good for sure. When I was promoted to team lead, I was really happy, and then when I was promoted to manager, I was really really happy as well. But little did I know that it's not that simple. It's not that easy, and it came a lot. It came with a lot of addendums, with a lot of things. Yung hindi lang yung title yung nagbago. Maraming changes na nangyari. And I would guess that it's the same for developers, no? Like with any career, basically, when you're promoted, of course, there are a lot of things that would change for you. And I would like to talk you out of wanting to become a senior programmer by giving you the good, the bad, and the ugly of it all. Okay, so on a positive note, the good is that, when you're promoted to a senior developer or senior programmer position, you get a new title that you can flex to your friends, to your, family. You can put it in your CV, you can change it, and, like, it's something else. Yes, I'm a senior programmer, I'm a senior developer. It's something else. There's a sense of pride to becoming a senior programmer. Also, of course, it comes with a bigger paycheck. You get additional dough, like you get additional pay, and that's always good. That's always appreciated. The bad is that, when you're promoted to a senior level position, once you have that title, more is expected of you, you know. Of course, aside from that, you'll be given more work, and people will ask you questions. People will go to you for help. And if you're somebody who's not used to that, that would be a little bit burdensome. And the ugly is that, a lot of your time will be spent for meetings. I read or I heard somewhere that 75 to 80% of your time will be spent on meetings. And that would mean, of course, less time coding. And like, you have to be a part of this long meetings, higher level decision making. You'll be having to talk with the managers, with the CTO, with the project managers, and other developers. If you're working with a cross functional kind of team, you have to talk to the other departments and see what's up, and you have to agree on something or disagree on something, and those are really difficult decisions to make sometimes. Aside from that, you'll also be in charge of, taking care of the rest of the team sometimes. You have to look after the junior ones and make sure that they're in line, or, like, it's not easy. It's tough, like, let me just share this. When I started with Coding Chiefs, I was a senior recruiter. So I was just doing my own thing, and then I was promoted to team lead, and then, of course, like, it was still kind of okay, yeah, sure. I was just still doing my own thing with a few more reports, but I liked it. It's fine. Then when I was promoted to manager, like, little did I know that I would have to, like, come up with a plan for the whole team for the whole year. What do you want the team to achieve? Like, it comes with a lot of things that I was not even prepared for, and now, like, I time came when I really wanted out of it, and it's crazy. And I have encountered, developers who are in senior positions, who are applying for developer roles again. So they're already, like, they're already in higher position like team lead, or they're already managers, but they would still they would take jobs that would um, seem like a demotion to them, parang like medyo lower level yung magiging yung ina-applyan nila. And I would always ask why would you want to, you're already a senior level developer, like team lead ka na or manager ka na, or you're a tech lead na, or yeah, senior programmer ka na, why would you still want to apply for like a position that will just do a lot of coding? And um yeah, they will always say that they miss coding, or parang ayaw nila mga lawang or something like that. So yeah, because it's really difficult. A lot of being a senior, like being of senior status in terms of work, it doesn't come easy. You have to have a lot of you have to be ready to take on more responsibility, you know. And for example, if you're an introvert and you're not like used to talking to a lot of different people, that could be a stretch. The meetings, having to deal with people from different teams, and like having people come to you for help and ask you a lot of questions, that could be a stretch. That could be exhausting if you're an introvert. So it's something that you have to keep in mind, you know but let me just say this: whatever makes being a senior level professional seem bad or seem ugly, I think that that also makes it like a good thing. Because if you'd have a different perspective in things, like in life, a lot of things are like it's just a matter of perspective. But the good, the bigger paycheck, the senior level, the title, it allows you to like help other people. The title senior will um make you sound it will make you seem approachable enough, like, oh, this is a person who's more senior than I am, so probably I can go to this person for help. And the fatter paycheck, of course, that allows, like, practical wise, that allows us to, if you're helping out your family, or if you have other things that you want to achieve, like or acquire, or something like that, that helps with that. But the things that we were considering bad earlier, those are actually upgrades. I consider them opportunities to grow. Because when expectations of you are high, it means that like, your opinion matters. And when your opinion matters, people listen to you. And when people listen to you, that is an opportunity for you to change some things. So people are expecting you to do something about the things that you could not do anything about before. you know that's something that I think is very how do you call it, very important. Yeah, high risk, high reward. Yeah, it is. I feel like, yeah, that's a good way to put it. Anyway, so yeah, expectations are high, your opinion matters, and that's an opportunity for you to change things. More work means that it's an opportunity for you to stretch yourself a little bit more. It's important that when you are working, when you are growing, like, you have to make, if you're already comfortable where you are right now, like, okay, I'm fine, like, there's nothing that I want more, like, this is it. That I always consider that as being stagnant, and being too comfortable is not really a good feeling when you aim to grow as a professional. So allow yourself to be uncomfortable a little bit. So more work allows you to like, push yourself a little bit more to the limit. you know and when people ask you a lot of questions, you are considered the go-to guy. It means that they trust your judgment, they trust your knowledge, they trust what you know. And that is an opportunity for you to transfer or to impart the knowledge, or to inspire people with your work ethic, with your best practices, like these things. It's like, uh not really like, hindi naman nagpapamana, but you're sharing the things that you know to the person who's gonna take the place that where you were before, parang ganon. So that's a good opportunity. And then the things that we were considering ugly earlier, like, again, expectations are higher. Oh, sorry, that kind of repeated, right? Sorry, let's just consider this one. So a lot of meetings again, like this. When you're doing a lot of meetings, when you're in this group of people who are actually the decision makers in the company, and or the decision makers in the whole development process, that kind of gives you the chance to put your ideas on the table and have people decide or help you, make it into something better. I always hear from developers, like, what do you like about development? What is it about development that kind of got you hooked on this, or got you into this profession? So most, like, one of the best answers that I get from those that I've spoken to, they would say that they enjoy creating something out of nothing. Because, like, I think, they have ideas and they put it on the table and they discuss it, and from there they create this something that we can actually see, enjoy. And I mean, even this platform that we're using right now, StreamYard, came from nothing, and now it's something that we're using. So yeah, being a part of those difficult discussions, being a part of those, like, higher level decision making processes, kind of gives a person an opportunity to direct the whole process. So, and yeah, we can look at it as something that is exhausting, or something that could wear somebody down. But if you have a different perspective of it, if you look at it in another way, it's an opportunity for you to, like, look at things like, okay, this is something that I must do now. Like, if I take part in this, my ideas, like in the earlier, what I was saying earlier, like when people listen to senior level people, because they have this certain kind of authority, so yeah, um your voice matters, your idea matters, and people will actually want to take part in cultivating that idea. And less time coding means that, it just of course, when you're really really passionate about coding, it's something that you should consider, when you're promoted to a senior level status. um, Time for coding will be lessened, but that will give you opportunities to create the environment for coding for the junior developers a little bit better, because of course, again, you take part in this decision making processes on probably how to improve the processes, or yeah, the environment for the others, for your teammates. So that's always good. And of course, we also want to I also want you to understand that, aside from all this, a senior level developer is also expected to, like, be a guide to the junior ones. So a little bit of mentoring, a little bit of performance tracking, performance management. And you'd also have to address performance issues. And these are very difficult discussions to have, especially if, for example, you were in a team for a very long time. You're in a team of developers, and all of you are all, like, similar level. All of you are programmers. And then one, like, for example, I got promoted to a senior level status. So I would be assigned to, like, okay, you have to, um, not really manage, but, like, just look after the rest of the guys, and like, take note of those who are having a hard time, like, check on them from time to time, something like that. And these are discussions that are often difficult to have, especially if you've been with the group for a while. So it's kind of something that you should be ready for. But again, it's a good opportunity, I think, and it's something that is that should be exciting. Okay, so the title of our program is Roadmap, but as I was a roadmap to senior programmer, but as I was making my outline for this, I realized that instead of calling it a roadmap, I wanted to call it a flight path. So because instead of just going forward, no, like roadmap, you go somewhere. Flight path, you elevate yourself. So how does one become a senior programmer? What what must one do to qualify as a senior programmer? How do you make sure that you are capable of reaching greater heights? I realized that certain kinds of aircrafts can only go for a certain height. Like of course, paper planes can only reach a certain height. Sometimes not even, and helicopters can only reach a certain height, and of course, like jet engines and all these kinds of aircrafts. So what you make of yourself, like if you think about it, what you make of yourself determines how you can go. So if right now you would be at a paper plane level, if you want to go higher, you must upgrade. You must see to it that you are equipping yourself with more more knowledge, more skills, more experience, so that you can upgrade yourself to become a helicopter. So you can reach a little bit higher. You can fly a little bit higher. And if you still want to go higher than, for example, let's say 10,000 feet, if you want to go higher still, again, you have to equip yourself with more knowledge on top of the previous ones that you've learned before. Because again, it could be an experience of learning and unlearning. Like you have to unlearn certain things from the past and relearn some of the things that you had to let go in the past, to build up a new knowledge base or something like that. So you have to upgrade and elevate your knowledge on certain skills. And then again, like it goes on and on and on, basically. So you cannot expect to go higher when you don't work on yourself. You can't keep on doing the same things with the same tools and expect people to say that, oh yeah, you've been doing that for 2 years now or 4 years now, let's call you a senior programmer. No, not really. It doesn't work that way. So you have to do something with yourself first. Of course, like you have, I think right now in the internet there are a lot of free resources, and there are also of course like those paid resources that one can take to improve or to add to the knowledge base or skills base. Like there are a lot of developers that I know who would take on freelance projects to practice on certain skills that they don't get to practice with their main work. For example, if there are people who are, for example, working on front end stuff, but he wants to like learn a little bit about mobile development, or let's say like blockchain and stuff like that. So they're doing something or studying something on the side to help them, like grow a little bit more. So that enables them to become a little bit better than what they were yesterday. So yeah, I encourage you to be lifelong learners. You know, um, yeah, lifelong learners. It's all about just like finding Dory. Just just keep swimming. Like you can't stop, especially with this industry. Like being out of the game for a year will mean will mean for someone to do a lot of catching up, and that's quite tough. Yeah, that's quite tough to catch up, because again, like technology evolves every day. Like I was trying to come up with a definite list of all the programming languages and the frameworks that they have, and I was overwhelmed. I think it's an impossible project to do. I don't know why I was doing it, but like it's something, oh, what if I list down everything? And I realized it changes, and it's like I was just setting myself up to fail. I mean, I could have one, but of course it's not going to be like the only list. Things are added in. So yeah, if one decides to be, somebody who's um, constantly upgrading, you don't have to be a master at everything, but at least have a certain focus, right? Okay, so there's this debate whether titles matter. Like, does it matter when does it matter if I'm called a senior level developer or senior developer, senior programmer, or if I'm just called a programmer? It's basically the same thing. Um, does it matter? Well, it depends. It's a yes and a no. It matters to those who would be hiring you, because of course, if they require a senior level developer, if they see in your CV that you're not a senior level person, they might already like reject your profile or something like that. The paper screening wise, it but of course, this is not something that is set on stone, but yeah, it matters when it's like to show your seniority in a company, like in terms of the organizational chart. It matters to colleagues, because of course, like what I mentioned, if you are known as a senior level programmer or developer, people will come to you for help. People, they will know that like you're somebody that they can ask, because most definitely that should mean that you would know better in terms of that particular area of expertise that you're focusing on. It matters for career advancement, of course, and it matters because it's something that, whether we like it or not, it is something that is tied with your identity, our job titles sometimes, and it matters because during the pandemic, of course, like this is the reality that a lot of companies had to face. um, Companies had to lay off people, and of course, like if you're for senior level professionals, they were not actually the first ones to go. So of course, like the juniors would be the first ones to be laid off. And yeah, it's unfortunate, it's a sad reality, but like having this certain authority at work is uh helps sometimes. It's sad still, but and what else? It matters when it doesn't describe what you do. So it's something that you can, how do I explain this? Your job title matters when it's not describing what you're actually doing. Okay, I for example, my title is I'm a senior recruitment senior technical recruiter, but I'm asked to do stuff that is not in like in the job title's description or something. Like it's way off. I'm asked to do some financial stuff, so it like you can also always refer back to your title and like stress that, okay, this is what I'm doing, this is like this is what I should be focusing on, right? Yeah. And then again, it matters when you know um what else? mm, to clients, of course, like again, for the hiring managers, but for the people that employ you, it matters. And titles do not matter uh when you don't care about it. you know if it's something that you don't care about, of course it doesn't matter. If you're somebody who's unbothered by job titles, it doesn't matter. If you're somebody who's like just focused on the work at hand, and you're just hustling and you're just doing what you're supposed to do, no matter your title, good on you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when your compensation is better than your title. you know you're a junior level developer, but you're paid, let's say, 300,000 pesos a month. So even if your title is junior, if you're paid that much, where will your title matter? I mean, personally, I won't complain like I won't complain. But yeah, in that case, it doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter when it's uh, what else? When the company is small, titles don't matter because it's more or less like an open or flat organization. If you're few, like out of, let's say, three developers, you're considered to be the senior developer, or two of you are considered senior developers, and you have one junior developer. It's like, okay, it doesn't matter in that case. But again, this is not, these things are not set on stone. Of course, it varies from company to company, but for the most part, titles don't matter if it's something that doesn't bother you. It's okay. Okay, so what now? What now? Okay, what now? So from here, I understand that most of you are still students, and this gives you a lot of time to, set yourself up to um, create a path for yourself. So I would like you to look into establishing your personal brand. So you start with, determining what you want to become, or like what sets you apart from everyone else, what you can offer, how you are an added value. What I often say when people are going into client interviews, or client interviews, I would often remind them that this is to uh, allow the interviewer to imagine how you are an added value, or allow them to imagine how it will be like to have you on board with them. So yeah, you have to establish what sets you apart from everyone else. If you can't think of anything right now, that's fine. For those of you who are still students, this is something that you develop over time, and even as professionals, most of us still don't have that personal brand. It's something that evolves over time, so it's okay. But at least self awareness helps. Look into that. What my advice would be in terms of creating your personal brand or your CV, your LinkedIn profile, your resume, is that make it as authentic as possible. Like whatever is on paper, whatever you put on your CV, whatever you put on your LinkedIn profile, it should translate to who you are as a person, how people encounter you. Because if you say that in your profile, your first line would be an enthusiastic professional, and then when people encounter you, you're like a person with a rain cloud hovering over his head or something like that. Like it's not consistent. So yeah, just make sure that however you present yourself, whether in person, on paper, or through virtual encounters like this, make it as authentic as possible. Because like finding whatever sets you apart from everyone else doesn't have to be that much of a tedious job. You just have to be yourself, and that should do the trick for the most part. And yeah, beef up your CV. Be as detailed as possible. Make sure that you're able to highlight your strongest points. Strengthen your strengths. Make sure that you are highlighting what is relevant to whichever role you're applying for. Don't just submit the same CV for everything. So make sure that it's dedicated to each role that at least you adjust it from time to time for each role that you're applying for. Consistency in terms of like yeah, authenticity, consistency. I think it goes hand in hand. And as much as possible, of course, like take all the learnings that you can get. Do certifications matter? Well, yeah, of course, because it adds to your skills. But aside from those certifications, you have to have actual output, actual experience. So that would also help a lot. And next, decide on where you want to go. Decide, because again, we started earlier with like a senior level person is the programmer is not just somebody who knows all the programming languages, or you know, you can know a lot of, you can have experience with a lot of programming languages, but at least have a particular focus, like at least be a master in one. Because it's often confusing when we receive CVs of developers who would have, for one company, he was focused on Python, and then the next PHP, and then the next it's another thing, and then another thing, and another thing. Like there's no pattern. Like so what's your specialty? Like, oh, I just like I can learn whatever, I can do, I can work with whatever. But of course, like it's, you have to be an expert in something at least, like again, flexible, but have a certain focus. Like if it's JavaScript development front end, let's say React JS, that could, that's something. And yeah, stay on your course, but allow life to surprise sometimes, because sometimes you are thrown a curveball, and if you're hyper focused on your path, like, no, I must become an Android engineer, but life kind of nudges you to another direction. Like maybe like allow yourself to be swayed a little, because you might like it there. Maybe the pastures are greener on the other side, and you just don't know it because you're hyper focused on just doing one thing. So like allow yourself to be like inspired by whichever, uh I don't want to call it the call, but yeah, just allow yourself to be a little bit flexible from time to time, because like it's, you have to be aware of the signs of the times. Because what if you're forcing yourself to focus on a language that might be, by the time you're ready for a senior level role, it might be obsolete or something. So what's the use? I don't know. For legacy stuff maybe, but you know, think about it. Uh, this whole thing, being a senior or being a senior level professional, it doesn't happen over time. It doesn't, it, like you don't read a book and then sleep, and then the next day, okay, I'm a senior programmer, what's up guys? Like, no, it doesn't happen that way. It's something that you work hard on, and you work hard, and you have to make sure that you have a direction for yourself, and you also listen to the other people around you. Like get yourself a mentor, or like have somebody, of course, like have somebody to sort of guide you, like informally or formally, whatever is available to you. I always encounter those who would say that they are a self-taught developer. That is highly respectable, but I would always think that somewhere, somehow, somebody inspired you to go to that certain direction. So like have somebody to look up to, or somebody that you can ask for a little bit of assistance. Yeah. So yeah, stay on your course that you decided on earlier, but allow life to change your mind a little. And then, like what I mentioned, it's not all rainbows and butterflies. It can be tough. It is tough because it comes with a lot of what people would call cons. But again, cons are just opportunities in disguise, I would say. So yeah, being out in the real world, in the professional world, people would say that it's tough, but like you just have to make sure that you're a little bit tougher than life. Yeah, something like that, because it's cutthroat, sort of. It is cutthroat, like but what I noticed is that if a developer is good enough, you don't even have to like look so hard. People will find you, and they will connect you with opportunities themselves. So, but only if you are good, that good, So you do what you can with that information. It's yeah, you do what you can with that information. So if you are that good, you don't even have to look far. People will just come to you and pop up from your LinkedIn or you'll just receive an email checking if you're open to new opportunities. So that's how it happens for most people, but only if you are that good. So make yeah, do something with that. Um, yeah, resilience is one thing. Um, you can be super techy, super knowledgeable, super skilled, but you have to make sure that I think in this industry, no, since you're working with technology, please, as young developers in the making, don't lose your heart. Like, don't lose your love for once you get out there. Don't lose your love for the profession that you got yourself into, because I feel like the most successful people that I've hired so far are those that have expressed authentic passion for what they're doing. So it helps that like they're really really into what they're doing. They're into this. They have actual, they're really into software development. They're really into the IT industry. So yeah, make sure that you're doing what you love. And as speaking from a recruitment standpoint, more also, of course, like, you have to focus on your technical skills, but take time to also work on your soft skills. So your communication skills. And let me just say this: communication skills is not just about sounding sounding foreign, or sounding American, or having the accent. It's not that. Communication skills is basically just the ability of translating whatever is in your head to words that people can actually understand. So the accent is not even secondary. It's like at the bottom of the list. You just have to make sure that you're easily understood and that you're able to express yourself clearly. So yeah, just that's communication skill. I have to stress that. Yeah. So there. And again, I would love to see you in our pipelines someday. For those who are still studying, would love to get would love to have you matched with one of the clients that we're working with. Would love to see you succeed. And because what I basically do is I do sourcing is when we um I always call it like a professional stalking. Like, I would look into who matches the requirements we have, and I will find them on LinkedIn or somewhere, or GitHub or somewhere else, and we would connect with them and ask them. And so looking forward to finding you in my search results someday. So there, I hope to get a chance to encounter you guys again soon. Yeah, do you have questions? I think we are ready to open the floor to questions now.
All right. Thank you so much, Jessa. So now onto the one of the most exciting part. Nope, di pa tayo magra-raffle. We are
Mhm.
still on our Q&A portion. So we have our first question here from Kevin Paul Zapanta. So this might be subjective, but I just want to know, for you, what is the best coping approach when you have a little or no time for yourself, like recreation, hang out with family and
Mm.
friends and stuff?
Mm, to be honest, this is something that I also struggle with personally at work, because I am the type of person that the bosses would force to take a leave, because what I'm doing now was my hobby before. But right now, I think I am able to like set time, like pakonti-konti. Like I forced myself to take up a hobby, spend some me time. So now I enjoy building Legos, the model stuff, car buildings, and it's a very expensive thing, but it's a I don't know why I chose that, but it's something that I find fun, just to like a breather. It takes me away from my computer. It takes me away from thinking about um everything else. So yeah, it's my me time. Coping up, it's I call it my my how do I, yeah, like it's a breather, like just to change things up a little bit and kind of resets my brain also, like a refresh, and then I can go back to work. And yeah, that's what I do personally. Um, yeah, I hope that
That's
answers your question.
yeah, I think that would also depend on the person, no? Kasi there are
Yeah,
really person parang they love to work, not really a workaholic, but parang they enjoy, no? They enjoy what
yeah.
they enjoy what they're
Most
doing.
people don't believe that, but there are people like that. I just
Yeah.
like
So
it.
siguro find the perfect not really perfect, but find the job that you really want you
Yes,
enjoy so that it
yes,
would not feel
that
like
helps
work.
a lot. It doesn't feel like work anymore.
All right, so
Mm.
we have our second question. So these do senior programmers still code on the job, or it's really just about the meetings and planning?
It varies from from company to company, I would say, but like you can check with the, of course, if for example, if you want to know, if you're applying for a particular job, if you want to know, like, you can ask the interviewers that, but it varies. So there are companies who would be, like, half of the time they would be on planning and, like, deciding what to do and then actual coding. But yeah, it varies from company to company depending on what level of responsibilities they give their senior programmers or senior developers. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So here one interesting question, no? Best advice on how to start transitioning or career shifting. Healthcare field
Mhm.
graduate here.
um don't don't wait for the time when you would don't wait for ready. I don't believe in the concept of being ready in terms of, in that case, because, like, it's either you do it or you don't, basically. So if you do it, you stick to it. If you don't do it, then, be ready to have the what ifs. So take a leap and just jump in there. And once you're in there, like, you have to remind yourself why you wanted to be in that field in the first place. When I had to decide whether I teach full time or be in recruitment instead, I had to, of course, like, realize what I'm letting go in this field, and what, like, what I have to, and what I'll be gaining. So weighing the pros and cons. But, the concept, okay, now I'm ready. Now I am, finally ready to do it. Like, it doesn't really happen for most people. They just decide, okay, I'm gonna do it now. And they just stick to that decision. Walang maling desisyon, basta pinaninindigan. Yeah. My best friend in high school, like college, told me that. So, yeah, that's something that I always think about when I'm torn. Yeah.
Agree. So just to add, Shiki, no, the best way to start career shifting, especially in programming, is you join StackLeague. Now you can
Yeah.
learn programming through StackLeague. So thank you. Next question: is being a senior programmer more often achieved through promotions?
Officially, yeah. Yeah, but Um, like, for most of the people I encounter, they know their worth. That's why it helps with what they know and what they can do. They know that for example, they would know that they're a senior level programmer. They would know that, oh, I'm not yet there, but I know that I'm getting there, so I would consider myself a mid-level programmer or something like that. But if you want it on the paper, yeah, like, being promoted helps. Being hired. For example, if you're a mid-level developer and you apply for a job for a senior level developer and you get the job, then that would it's yeah, you're like promoted into something else. But for me, the promotion is not is it's just making things official, like just being recognized officially. But it's more about, what you're capable of, your level of maturity, skills, um soft skills, and yeah, a lot of different factors. Like, I read a comment somewhere that there's no definitive, like, scale, or like, um there's no definitive rubrics of what a senior is, and like a check. It's not a checklist. Um it's a mixture of experience, skills, level of maturity, definitely, and experience, of course. Yeah. So
Okay.
not
So
always with promotion, at least not officially.
uh, for the
Does
next
that?
question, in looking for senior programmers specifically in your company, what soft skills do you usually look for in an applicant?
Soft skills, personality, like, somebody needs to at least have an idea, like, self-awareness, I would think, is very important, at least, because of course, like, we want to make sure that this person is sure of what he wants, what he doesn't want, what the person is looking for in a company. So that person, that usually requires um, a lot of self-awareness, and communication skills is very important, because like, with our kind of business, we are dealing with foreign clients, so we have to make sure that the person is able to communicate well. um, of course, like the technology, the technical terms, with dealing with people from different cultures, and yeah, communication skills. What else? mm, yeah, I would say that those are my top two, like people skills and communication skills are what I primarily look for, aside from the technical stuff.
Yeah, I think yan talaga yung basic, no? Even in
Yes.
other even in other careers, parang plus na lang
Yes.
yung technical skills mo on a
Mhm.
certain specialization.
Yes, I've encountered some clients in the past that would actually go for somebody with a little less, like, in terms of the tech skills, they would go for somebody with a little less than what they are actually looking for, but the personality matches, and like the personality, the soft skills are really good. So, because again, tech stuff, skills are skills that can be taught, but personality is something that a person already brings to the table. So, yeah, that should
Okay.
be a little tip, maybe, for
Thank you.
some.
All right. I think this one also is a good question. So I noticed with developers that they can work multiple jobs at the same time. But with
Mhm.
bigger responsibilities, if one becomes a senior programmer, would they still have the time to take on side projects? Very common with our programmers and
Yes,
developers.
I encountered a candidate who has I asked the same question. So it's all about time management. And again, if you're somebody who just takes on the intention, I think, is something that is very important in this situation. So if you are somebody who is forced to take on more projects because you want to, for example, it's to earn more money or something like that, and of course it can be more tiresome. But if you're taking on more projects because you want to learn more, you want to grow, or you just love what you're doing, I think it feels a little less like work. That's why you can extend yourself or stretch yourself out a little bit, so they're able to manage their time and make time for everything. Because I know people with, yeah, multiple side hustles, and we respect that, but they're able to give 100% for each one because they actually love what they're doing. Yeah, so that helps a lot, I would say.
Yeah. Time management talaga.
Yeah, time
Kasi
management.
as long as kaya, no, why
Mhm.
not? Because that would
And
also help you, in your career
mhm.
growth.
Yeah, time management plus a lot of love for the work, because like, if you can manage time, pero parang, yeah, I'll do this for this hour and then the next hour. Parang it's just your attitude towards it, I think. Parang, yeah, if you like what you're doing, kahit madami siya, kahit your time is parang siksikan siyang ganyan, it's okay. It's something that you can breeze through every day.
Right. Eto, pinaka ano, intriguing question. If it's okay to ask, how much does a senior programmer earn a month on average?
Well, it depends. It depends on, of course, are you applying for a local client or a foreign client? Are you applying for a like it varies, but I would say I might get in trouble for this. Yeah, yeah, it varies eh. Pero um yeah, depending on the what's this the kind of clients that you're handling. For example, local clients, of course, might be like 80-ish to 100-ish ish. This is not set on stone. This is just, like generous estimation. I won't say conservative, but generous estimation. But of course, uh, foreign clients with bigger name companies would of course be more generous, or yeah, for working offshore for offshoring companies would probably give you a little bit more. It depends. Ask me.
PM
It
nyo na
depends on
lang
the
daw.
skill level, of course. Skill level then. It depends on the skill level. I think for most tech companies, it's the 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 job tier is a little bit flexible kasi of course um sa senior level developers nag-vary pa rin yung um proficiency nila with certain technology, so it varies. So mas rare yung for rarer technologies mas mataas yung bigayan, like for game devs, I would think mas mataas yung sahod nila, or depende sa technologies, depende sa experience, depende. Just ask me. Look for me on LinkedIn. Let's talk. Joke.
But actually, if you're really curious guys, nakikita naman yan sa Google. Google nyo na lang. May
Glassdoor.
there's a report, salary
Ah,
2022
yes, yes.
salary report by JobStreet, no, na
Mhm. Yeah,
nakalagay doon if how much. All right,
yeah.
so maybe we'll be catering to the last two questions. So as much as
Mhm.
we would like to cater all
Yeah.
of our questions, but our time is limited. So last
Mhm.
two questions. Will I achieve the title of a senior developer faster if I job hop or if I stick with a singular company for a certain time?
I'm glad you asked that because this is something that is often an issue. I would say that if you are with the company for example, 6 years and your title stays the same, it would be quite alarming that you have not progressed in that 6 years. You have not been promoted in that span of time. Like uh, ideally you would have to be promoted at least once in 3 years, especially like a little bit faster. I think if you would be working with in the tech industry, I would say this is promotion wise, at least in promotion in terms of official being officially promoted. Yeah, so being with the same company for a long time and not being promoted could uh, work against you. Why? Kasi parang kung ganyan ka nakatagal sa company tapos hindi ka na promote, bakit? Parang gano'n. Parang gano'n yung magiging question pag tingnan yung CV mo. But if you jump from one role to another, it might raise questions then about your level of commitment. For example, every year nag-change ka ng jobs, magiging siya, parang that's what we call a job hopper. And for some employers that might be a red flag kasi nga of course hindi ka nag-grow sa isang company. The general rule of thumb is like 3 companies at most in 5 years, I think. Yeah, so at least a little, yeah, more than 1 year in every company dapat. At least, may growth ka man lang. May may exemptions to the rule. It's when you're a contractor, of course, like if you're working on contracts, but at least a little bit of, you have to appear like you have had the chance to grow your roots in a certain place before you moved on to another place. Parang ganun. So your career path has to show some growth at least. So I hope that answered some things. I cannot say yes or no definitely, but at least you know the pros and cons of either.
Right. Na so I think yun din yung parang problem with the younger generations right
Mhm.
now kasi they tend maybe because they have this ano parang they think like this na they could be promoted faster if they job hop no so
Yeah,
somehow
not
for the
always.
past few years it has been ano no parang an issue in the ano
Yes.
in the industry.
Kasi fast moving yung role kasi tech, so maraming people move around a lot, but um, employers would still want you to grow with them, so they don't want you they don't, and as much as people think that employers see people as disposable or replaceable, like commodities, they actually want them to see their employees grow. So if you move agad-agad, parang, oh, we haven't even had a chance to work with you yet. So parang ganon. So yeah, but don't stay for like for so long and not be promoted or not move at
Yeah.
all. Yeah.
Know your worth.
Yes, most definitely.
Okay, so again, as much as we'd like to cater all of your questions, no, but we have a limited time. So, on to our last question from Gabriel Felipe. Is it easy to identify the leadership skills of a person through interviews? If so, what are your identifiers?
Leadership skills. Uh, I this might be a little bit of parang it might cause a ruckus, but I don't think leadership skills can be really gauged through interviews. Because I mean, like what Dr. House said, people lie all the time. So like, I would think that for a person to be able to for an interviewer to be able to gauge the leadership skills, like we would just rely on what the interviewee says. So but then again, if an interviewer is skilled enough, they would be able to tell whether the person is lying or not. So but leadership skills is quite difficult, like it's something that is demonstrated more than told. So mm, yeah, it's something that we can take note of it. Oh, this person says, like he has been a leader. He's been performing leadership duties within his past company or something. But that is something that is left to be proven upon onboarding or something like that. And also, I think one way, if I were to like gauge it just based on the interview, is I think the way a person would talk about his former team, I would say, the attitude that this person expresses through how this person discusses his previous experience, parang ganun. Paano niya kinukwento yung former team niya, paano niya kinukwento yung experience niya with the people that he worked with in the past, ganun. So that could be one thing, but it's not it's not going to be fair to just assess a person's leadership skills whether meron o wala just sa interview kasi it's something that has to be demonstrated. It's yeah, you have to show it more than you say it, I think.
Yeah, because I think it's really, I mean, it's easy to claim na I'm a good leader, no? In
Yes.
just one, no? Isang
Yeah.
salita lang, but you have to
Mhm.
prove it.
Yes. And sometimes kahit nga parang I thought I was a good leader, and then up until the time that I was promoted, like, oh no, like I don't think I am. Parang ganun. So it depends. So it's something that one has to uh, be given an opportunity to showcase pa rin naman. So yeah, ayun.
Agree, agree. All right, thank you. Thank you so much for all of your questions. And thank you, Jessa, for answering all of those questions.
Um,
So before we dive into our announcement, is there anything else you'd like to add, Jessa?
Uh, I think one thing is find something that you really, really want doing. If you're already doing something, or if you're already in the career path that you feel like you'll be the most, you'll grow the most in, or you'll be the happiest in, then by all means continue that way. But like it's never too late, like to jump into something that would really want to make you happy. Kasi mahirap yung reluctant ka coming into a career, tapos it's not gonna make you happy. You're not gonna be at your 100%. And also surround yourself with people that are encouraging, people that like keep a good company ba. Parang surround yourself with good people who actually encourage you to be more than what you are right now. So yeah. And if you need like career advice or something, you can look me up on LinkedIn. Yeah, you can, if you have questions, or I can help you out with your CVs, how to. I mean, I'm not an expert. There are a lot of resources online, but like definitely I can, if you reach out, I would definitely like look into your questions and answer them for you. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jessa, for that very insightful presentation and a very engaging Q&A. No? So
Thank
while
you.
during our Q&A, I can see a lot of comments in our comment section, that participants are really, they are also discussing
Mhm.
within the comment section. So
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. So if there's anything you need more for from Jessa, I think she flashed her contact details. I think
Yes.
you can reach out to her through her email and look her up on LinkedIn. All right. Once again, thank you so much,
Thank
Jessa.
you. Thank you so much. Good evening. Bye.
All right. I know what you've been anong inaabangan nyo diyan. All right? So before we proceed in announcing our raffle winners. Okay, we have already, while doing the Q&A, we have already drawn the winners. So we'll be announcing them in a while. Okay, so just to announce the upcoming Stack League events. Okay, so since Stack League is one of the initiatives of Stack Trek, we are sharing this opportunity with you. So I've seen someone commented earlier of doing a career shift. Maybe this one is also good for you. Okay, I would like to share this opportunity with you. The Department of Information and Communications Technology, or DICT, is co-hosting with StackTrek an initiative called Code Your Future, Jumpstarting Your Tech Career, tomorrow, April 29, at 10 a.m. To know more, you could still reserve your slot at bit.ly/ jumpstarting your tech career. That's bit.ly/ jumpstarting your tech career. All right. Okay. So I hope you join us on that event. And also, one of our upcoming tech sessions, Stack League Recruit Day Tech Session, Functional Programming with Java on May 4, 6 p.m. Make sure to register and secure your slot at bit.ly/ fp_Java. All right. And StackLeague AWS Tech Session Serverless, why product owners choose them, on May 11, 6 p.m. Secure your slot at bit.ly/ StackLeague AWS session. That's bit.ly/ StackLeague AWS session. And in partnership with UXPH Tech Session, we have web accessibility done right, common design gaps, and how to fix them, on May 25, 6 p.m. Make sure to secure your slot at bit.ly/ StackLeague UXPH session. That's bit.ly/ StackLeague UXPH session. All right. So there are plenty of opportunities for you to learn here in Stack League. Make sure to visit us at fb.com/stackleague/ events for the registration details and get the latest updates from our upcoming events. To also help our team improve our sessions, we would like to ask for a 5-minute from you to answer the questions from our Stack League session feedback. So you may submit your feedback at bit.ly/ Stack League sessions feedback. That's bit.ly/ Stack League sessions feedback. All right. And of course, Stack League Ambassador for April is now accepting entries. Earn your ambassador points now. Visit bit.ly/StackLeague Ambassador 2022. That's bit.ly/StackLeague Ambassador 2022. Also, make sure to earn league points to unlock the challenger levels and receive the prizes, our cash prizes. All right. So, are you all ready for the announcement of our raffle winners? Okay. So, I think that would be all. Oops. All right. So, I think that would be all for our announcement. Okay. So congratulations to our giveaway winners. We have Shan, Patrick Kaintik, Ian De Chavez, and Angelo Capili. Just checking if our winners are still here. Shan, Ian, and Angelo, are you still with us? Okay, if you're still here, just comment present on the comment section. Just checking. Yeah, hey, we have Ian, we have Angelo. All right, very good. No, so you have stayed with us up until the end. Congratulations, Sean, Ian, and Angelo. You will be receiving all of the items that you see on the screen. So there's a tumbler, a ball pen. I think that's a laptop case, a laptop stand. That's I think a mouse pad, and that's a chocolate, actually. That's a chocolate for your sweet tooth. So once again, congratulations to all of our winners. And thank you, everyone, for joining us in tonight's career session. So once again, congratulations on behalf of the StackLeague team. I would like to say thank you to everybody for joining the StackLeague Coding Chiefs Career Session Roadmap to Senior Programmer. If you don't have a StackLeague account yet, make sure to sign up now at stackleague.com. And of course, invite your friends and family who you think should be part of the league. See you guys at the next StackLeague event. This has been your host, Isai. Good night, everyone.